And today is Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birthday anniversary. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made this day as Good Governance Day. For some reason, since independence, we just acquired the bad culture what Britishers had in administration. They still have, or they had, bribing, which they call it in a different name. So that culture was exactly same, and still we have the same collector. All the system is maintained. What is before independence is still, and because of this corruption, India has been through a very tough time. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister who came and made radical changes in the political system. We need to learn 3 leadership qualities from him. First is habitual winner. You have to make winning as your own habit. And how do you do that? It is not thinking about failure. Think about winning and planning and achieving what he wants. He was member of parliament for 5 consecutive decades. It's not 5 times. 50 years he was member of parliament. And it's not that easy being a non-Congress person. That is more important. And he won from Uttar Pradesh, which was the place where Congress had full majority, and he always won from Lucknow. So he was 10 times member of parliament and he was 3 times prime minister. First time he was only for 13 days, next it was for 13 months, and then he was the first prime minister to complete full 5-year period apart from Gandhi family. In the past, we used to have just Gandhi family as prime ministers, and that cycle was broken by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So what we need to learn is winning. Winning is one of the things we have to learn from him. And winning is not just comes. You need to keep practicing. You need to know what exactly people understand. He's a graduate in political science, and because of that, he understood people mind mentality very well, and he was apt for the system. So the first thing is we need to learn the habit of winning. So leadership quality is habit of winning. Second one, he's an excellent communicator. He loved Hindi, and with the Hindi he can write poetry, and there are many people even from Congress party will go and listen to his speeches just because of his oratory expertise. So he was the best speaker, prime minister in the parliament, and he had that kind of a command over the parliament when he was the prime minister. So he was an excellent communicator. Because of that, he traveled the world when he was a prime minister. Now we were talking about Narendra Modi is traveling everywhere. Prime minister after Jawaharlal Nehru, the maximum traveled prime minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and because of that, he could influence many leaders in the world. And influence is the third thing I want to talk to you. His communication was so excellent. So you and me, if we want to improve our leadership quality, we have to improve in all levels of communications. Written, spoken, giving speech, giving oratory competitions. Now we have got this digital media as well. So all these things is important in the communication. And because of his communication, he had the influence of many leaders throughout the world, and they all invited him, and he had a very close relationship even to China. He was the first external minister to visit China. And in that time itself, he realized that Indo-China relationship is very important for welfare of all Indians. We had Indo-China war, that was in Jawaharlal Nehru's time, and that is still having some friction. But Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the first external minister who traveled to China, and he had a very good relationship. So that relationship is still continued. So to be a leader, we have to study these people, what is their leadership ability, and see how we can grow those habits within us. So first I said it's habit of winning. Second is communication. Third is influence. Influence is key thing for him to keep on winning. And because of influence across the leaders of the world, he was able to make the decision of Pokhran. Do you remember Pokhran? Boom! The nuclear bomb. Abdul Kalam made it success in India. So he chose Abdul Kalam to lead that mission, and it was done very silently. Complete knowledge of Prime Minister, and he didn't even inform the parliament, and that was a big, opposition party was shouting. They said, if we have Pokhran, if we have nuclear weapons, the whole world will paralyze our economy and we will be a poor country. But the leadership decision-making level of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and his influence over the whole world leaders made him keep the world quiet. I think they started talking about sanctioning and other things, but his leadership, his prime ministership made the whole world silent, and now we are all having our heads up in the world because of we are one among the 10 countries who have nuclear weapon. It is not because of nuclear weapon, it is because that we prove to the world that we are intellectually capable of doing anything in this world. All it is. So if you have a very good leader, everybody will be functioning to their maximum potential. If the leadership is weak, everybody will be slacking down. So what all Atal Bihari Vajpayee made changes, Narendra Modi ji just followed it, and those are the things which is now we are enjoying the benefits. If we wouldn't have taken Atal Bihari Vajpayee's leadership important, starting from wearing a mask till vaccines, we would not have had it. And this courage and confidence is given to the whole Indian community, Indian leadership community, is because of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So his leadership is very important. And 4 things we have to learn is: first, habit of winning; second is excellent correspondence, communicator; number 3 is influence everybody from Karyakarta down below to topmost people, President of United States, top people in the UN, top people in European countries, those kind of things. Number 4 is he had decision making as a very sharp tool. He will make a decision and that will be the excellence. So he made all the attempts to build the relationship between India and Pakistan. He took the bus journey from Delhi to Lahore, which was spoken throughout the world. So if we talk about good leaders, it makes us feel so good, and we also make them as our icon, and we acquire certain qualities from them. So these are the things I would like to talk to you today. So let's remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee, his good governance, and let us see how we can change the whole system which is corrupt from pre-independence, and we are still taking through. Starting from every district, starting from collector to bottom level peon of a municipal office, they are corrupt. Every hospital, starting from the top to the bottom, they are corrupt. So we need good governance in every nook and corner of government system. And how we are going to achieve that? Only Atal Bihari Vajpayee's leadership will make us walk through that visionary. Narendra Modi ji has started doing some work, but it is not enough. We as an Indian, everybody would start following Atal Bihari Vajpayee and his teaching, so that we have good governance, and that will grow our country to a greater India, and we can compete with China and America, because they are 2 giants, and we Indians have to reach their level for us to wipe out poverty. So Jai Hind to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Let's celebrate this day wonderfully. வாழ்க தமிழகம், வளர்க வல்லரசு இந்தியா.